Hey, welcome back to the broadcast. We're back here today to talk about Ready to Love Potomac. Let's welcome in Alex W. Leith.
Hey people, what's up, Aubrey? How you doing, baby?
Hey, what's going on, Alex? How you doing today?
Having a great Sunday. NFL championship games on today.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, wait a minute. And you joined us today? Oh my
Well,
goodness. When
well,
is
they're not on yet.
Oh, okay. How many minutes do I have of your time today?
I think I think they start at 4:30, and there's another game at 8
I
tonight.
don't need to know all that. I just need to know when the first one starts. So I got you till about 4:25,
Yeah,
huh?
somewhere around it. But see, this is the weekend to decide who goes to the Super Bowl. So it's a big weekend in NFL.
Oh, okay. Well, sounds interesting. All I know is I'm trying to figure out if Tom Brady's gonna play another season. So that's
Let's hope
that's all
not.
I know. Pardon me?
Let's hope not.
Don't be hating on my TV. Don't be hating on my Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the man.
Yeah, okay. The
Like
big
it, love it, or lump it.
Good. But you know what?
got a
You know
question for
what?
you. I got a question for you, Alex. Why do so many black men seem to not like Tom Brady as a football player?
And here's why. It's not that he's not a great player. It's
Because
not
he
that he's
is
not.
absolutely great. I saw
Yeah.
him once at the
Are you
I
gonna
saw
listen
him
to me?
once at Ford Field playing, and I'm telling you, I was mesmerized.
How you gonna ask me a question and don't let me answer it?
Oh, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
We know he's a great player. We know he's a great winner. All that. He's a schematic genius.
7 Super Bowl
Yeah.
championships. Continue on.
Even though my Giants beat him twice, okay, in the
Mm.
Super Bowls,
Is
and
that the New York Giants?
once once on an undefeated season, but we'll leave that alone for now.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Okay.
but the reason why a lot of real football men, I don't even think it's a black man thing. I think it's real football men, old schoolers. The
Old
reason why
schoolers.
we don't
Okay.
like, yeah, old school football guys. The reason why we have a sort of a dislike, not a hate, because hate is too strong a word.
Okay. A
But
dislike. I should have said
yeah,
dislike.
yeah.
Okay.
The reason why we have a dislike for him because football is made about hitting, intimidation, putting fear in your opponent.
Of
And
course.
what
Yeah.
has happened in recent years is because of Tom Brady, okay,
Hmm.
they started legislating hitting the quarterback a little bit too much to where if you even run by him and graze the quarterback, they throwing flags and penalties and stuff like that. So they try to legislate hitting out of the game. It's still a man's game where grown men are running into each other at 20 miles an hour. That's the nature of the game.
Right. Right. Right.
So you can't have him like he's in a ballet and the other guys are displaying savagery. The two don't go together. He still
No.
he
That's
still puts his helmet on, his cleats, his shoulder pads, like any other man. So if he get hit, he just get hit. You know, and
yeah.
that's what real old school players don't like.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that very thorough explanation of what it is. Why some men dislike Tom Brady as a football player, not
Yeah.
personally, but just as a football player. Um, well, let's get back on track. So, what did you think about just the initial analysis, not getting into the specifics for a moment, but just what did you think about this premiere episode of I don't know, season 5 they say, and then sometimes some people say season 6, so I don't know. I just call it Ready to Love Potomac. So, what did you think about it?
Okay, now you can tell me if you don't want to go here or not, but I do want to touch on this for maybe 5 minutes.
No, no,
Okay.
no. I just want your I just want can you just give me your initial just like did you like it, love it, hate it? That's what I'm kind of asking for.
It piqued my interest. I'm interested.
Okay.
There, there's some
Okay.
characters in there that I got my eye on. Okay. Um, You
Okay.
know, particularly a guy by the name of P.O. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
it piqued your interest. Do you think that this season shows maybe more potential for connections than say last season?
I mean that's difficult to say after the first episode, but I think
Okay.
that
Hmm.
people did do a good job trying to sit down with everybody. I think there was a concerted effort for each person to try to sit down with one another for a few minutes, at least try. Um,
Right, right.
he only started with 7-on-7. Usually they start 10-on-10,
Right, that's
and
right. 10,
and I
10 and for those who are new to the show, so what Alex is explaining is that traditionally they start with 10 women, 10 single women, and 10 single men. But this season, apparently, they've decided to start with 7 single women and 7 single men. Continue.
yeah, because I think that Tommy really gonna throw a huge wrench in the game this season and
Yeah.
make up for those three missing people. He got something up his sleeve.
You think, yeah, you think it's going to be another curveball or something like that? I
I
don't
think
know.
I think it's gonna be about 3 or 4 curveballs. You know,
Okay.
yeah. I think he's gonna spice it up a little bit this season, which is why he started with 7-on-7 because it's going to increase the numbers as the season goes on. He's going to do something. Trust me.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
because last season, the curveball when they threw in Sydney and what was his name? Sean. Last
Right.
that did put a wrinkle in things. It did change things up. So with that, I think he may try something like that again, which will be interesting. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. But what I was about to allude to before we talk about Potomac, because I think it's very interesting that first episode.
Hmm.
Um, I do want to find out if you don't, we don't have to go into this if you don't want to, but Dante spoke to Kojo last night, and I want to kind of touch on that for maybe 5 minutes if you wanted to go there. If not, we don't have to because he said a lot in that interview.
Okay. All right. How about this? How about we save it toward later in the podcast?
Right, we can save it talk later or for another podcast. But I
Yeah, no,
think
we can talk. We can touch on it. We definitely can touch on it. You have something you want to express about it, and I did see it
yeah,
also. So, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's put that toward the end of the podcast instead of at the front. So,
okay.
okay, so go ahead. You were gonna say. I want you to continue on. You were saying
I was
uh,
saying I was
uh,
saying that
about Po or Paul or somebody from this season from Potomac.
yeah, this guy because you got a couple of characters and this guy his name is Paul, but he calls himself Po, and they ask him what's PO. He's pretty outstanding. He also says it can stand for post office, and they said why post office? He said because I always deliver. So he's coming up with these little cliche kind of things, I guess, to get himself to stand out from the other gentlemen, but at the same time, it's seeming kind of childish or pimpish or too much gaming on his part, and that turns women off. And that's why he was in the bottom too the first week. He almost got sent home. You know,
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. I just thought he was ridiculous. In my notes, I wrote that for a man of his age, and I think they said that Paul was 48. I wrote that he has questionable social skills.
hmm
And that's the thing I think that also kind of gets people eliminated early off this show is when they don't come dressed to impress and when they have questionable to low to no social skills. Like you have to know how to go in and meet people and like you said, make a good impression.
right, right. But I
Yeah.
guess, like I said, people have different ways of trying to separate themselves from the crowd. I mean, because Clifton is the guy who he's the big teddy bear guy with the nice Barry White voice and deep voice, and he's the big guy, right? And
Yeah, I liked him. I like Clifton.
yeah, a lot of women seem to like him, but they also attacked his attire. They didn't think he was dressed appropriately. He came like he was going to a pajama party or whatever the case was. But I'm like, okay, but y'all noticed that he wasn't dressed like the other gentleman. So maybe that was part of his plan. Who knows? But
Yeah, I couldn't understand it. I mean, I felt like again, you're dressing to impress. This is the mixer. This is the first event. So you know the saying, that expression, that first impressions are lasting impressions. Why would you not want to impress the ladies? Why would you not want to come, looking really suave, looking really dapper? A t-shirt and slacks? No, sir. I
yeah.
don't know if he had a suit jacket in his closet or not, but that would have been preferable. A suit, a sports jacket, or something of that nature with maybe a button-up shirt would have been really nice. That's just me. I'm just saying.
And people always say, you have one chance to make a first impression, which in this case, with this type of show, that's not true. If you don't have a great first impression and you don't get voted off, you can make it up in the next 2 or 3 episodes. So
Yeah, that's possible.
you know what
It's
I
possible.
mean.
Yeah,
So one
it's
can always
possible.
redeem. Yeah, one can always redeem themselves if they don't have a great first impression. Because the truth of the matter is, this is nerve wracking. You're meeting people for the first time. You're trying to get to know them. It's like one of them said. I think Clifton said this. It's speed dating on crack. You know.
I, I can see that. What did you think about the ladies? Speaking of dressing to impress, what did you think about the ladies on the premiere? You
I,
had Precious, you had Keena, you had Joy. What did you think of them
I
and their
thought all the
outfits?
I thought all the ladies were dressed beautifully to suit their figures. The only person that I didn't like the way they were dressed was Keena. Um, Now I'm not sure who was in charge of her wardrobe because she's a very nice looking woman. When I really looked at her face, I said, "Oh man, she's really pretty." But her dress, with her breast showing, and
Well,
the
not
kind
showing. You mean they were not secured in a bra or any
of,
type of.
yeah. She didn't have a
Yeah.
bra on, and they were kind of,
Yeah.
just laying there, kind of thing.
That gravity that we talked about the other
Right.
day. That gravity was like, okay, so you're not 25 no more. We see
Right.
that.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah,
25.
no more gravity rants today. So
I'm gonna try not to. What about Joy? Joy was looking good in that green dress. She her body was body yaddy yaddying.
Mhm. Yeah, Joy's the singer.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, Joy's the singer, and
Professional singer.
um,
Yep.
she she's and this is what I'm saying. She's assertive, not aggressive. Okay, she made it her business to sit down with a few of the gentlemen and have a connection. She had a real connection with Clifton. I seen that. She did not have a great connection with Fernando at all, um,
Hmm.
because she said he was conducting it like it was a job interview, and
Yeah.
instead of having a natural conversation, it's not a
Right.
job interview. You know?
Right, right. I saw that too. I thought, wow. And then he was really weird. So talking about Fernando now, right?
Yeah.
Fernando, I thought was really odd because he was another one I wrote in my notes. I said a couple things about him. I said they gave his age as being only 34. Hmm.
Mm.
Right. I got a bridge I want to say you too, if you believe that.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I said, I really wrote just I try to be kind this season. I'm giving everybody a fresh slate, right? Because they're all new to me. So I wrote low social skills next to his name. Low social skills because when he was talking to one of the ladies, was he the guy that was or was it? Wait a minute. Was that? No, no, no. I'm going to back up off of that. So Fernando wasn't the guy that did this. This was actually Paul, who also had questionable social skills. Uh, Paul, when he was questioning one of the ladies who mentioned that she had been married, and I guess she had been married for less than a couple of years, he was like, well, you didn't really give that a try, did you? What happened? What did you do? And da 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 da. I thought, wow, dude, like, okay, we're just getting acquainted. You don't have to get my whole bio today. Why don't we
Right.
just do the surface stuff first? Because I may not even like you, so I'm not gonna give you too much of anything if I don't like you.
Yeah, it was almost as if he was attacking her because her marriage didn't last. I mean, who's to say it was her fault? Could have been the guy's fault. You don't know what
Right,
happened, you
right,
know.
exactly.
So, but he was
Exactly.
kind of attached.
The guy could have been a wife beater for all we know.
We don't know, you know.
Right.
So
We
she's
have
like,
no
for whatever the
idea.
reason, for whatever the reason, it lasted a year and a half to 2 years, and it was over. Plus, when people are married for that short period of time, they typically been together as a couple longer than the marriage, typically.
Mhm. That
And
that could be, yeah, that could be very true. I like some of these couples date for like 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 years. I mean, well, she was kind of young to have maybe say dated. We don't know how long they dated, but and how long she's been divorced. But yeah,
right.
she could have been like you said, it could have been a college sweetheart, and they could have been together for a number of years.
And sometimes people use marriage as a band-aid, and marriage doesn't fix anything. It just escalates whatever's already wrong. It brings more light to whatever's already been wrong. So if you've been together 5 or 6 years and 4 years of that has been very tumultuous, you can't get married hoping that that stuff goes away, because it doesn't.
Hmm.
It exacerbates it, because now you're saying, I'm married, it's on paper. Now we really got to stop doing the stuff that we've been doing. But these things have been an ongoing problem, so marriage is not going to fix it. And that's
It's not going to fix it.
I hope people get that and learn that one day.
Right. Well, so what did you think? So we noticed that the social skills were an issue with some of the men. Uh, did you notice like maybe some poor social skills or social graces in this episode with any of the ladies?
Well, just to stay on the men for 1 second, if you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead.
Um,
I'm sorry.
yeah, 1 second. I noticed that the last episode, excuse me, the last season, we found out that there's been a lot of people in that season that were not healed from past trauma. Okay, we found that out later. In the beginning, of course, we didn't know, but as the season went on, we found out there was some cast members that had some past trauma. They hadn't healed from it, so they started acting out on the show, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So when I listened to Fernando in his opening statement, I don't think he's healed from past trauma, because
And,
right
and
away he
what did
talked
he say? What did he say in his opening statement so we can kind of follow along with you? What did he say in his opening statement?
in his opening statement. He said he started out with, my longtime girlfriend cheated on me. She would bring men into our bed, into our home. She would take trips with other men, so she had no respect for me. End quote. Okay, so
Yeah, I noticed that. I
yeah,
noticed that.
so to say that in the opening and to kind of jump out there with that, to kind of lead with that, is very
Yeah.
odd.
I
It's
was
very
just about to
odd.
ask you, what did you think of that? I mean, as a man, so you're a guy. What did you think? Would you lead with that on a mixer where you're trying to get to know people? You want to date? Would that be your opening statement?
No, you don't lead with that. Not with that. Because right away, that's negative energy. Everybody's coming to the mixer. They're trying to be upbeat. They're trying to meet somebody new. They're looking for love and companionship and so forth. Looking to have somebody that they got chemistry with. And you come with this, my ex cheated on me and brought men into our bed and took trips with strange men. It's like, what the hell is that? So the question remains: are you healed from that situation? Because that's very traumatic for anybody. It would be very traumatic if
Yeah,
somebody did that to you.
I think the key thing that you said, whether it's traumatic, not traumatic, my thing is, why the hell are you leading with that, sir? That's like
Right,
saying I'm trying to sell my house, but oh, by the way, did I tell you about the foundation is cracked and you're going to have to spend half the money that you spend to buy the house to fix it? I mean, come on, you're giving up too much information, sir. And like you said, the real root of it could be too that are you really healed that you have to lead with that?
right. But that was my question, Aubrey.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought that was odd. I thought that was really odd. Like, who in the heck leads with that?
Right. Because everybody there, trust me, have dealt with some trauma. Okay. But nobody else led with that but him. So so I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's not healed from that. When Paul was speaking to I think with Tiffany, with the 2.5 year marriage or 2 year marriage, was that Tiffany he was speaking with regarding that?
Uh, I I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure.
It might have been Tiffany or it might have been Ace. I'm not sure. I think it might have been Ace. But
Hmm.
he had to pull that out of her. She didn't want to tell him about that. He kept pushing and prodding and pushing and prodding, but
Right.
she didn't lead with that, you
No.
know.
I don't
So
think I would have given that up, and I think that, the way he went about that, I think that was totally wrong. I wouldn't have given that information up, and I would have excused myself from conversation with him.
and I think he just seemed kind of awkward. He was sweating bullets for some reason. I mean,
They
he was
say when they film this, it's always in the summer, so I'm assuming it's in the summer, it's hot, right?
right, right.
But
And mosquitoes was out in droves, so I give him
right.
that. You
Okay,
know,
but yeah, like you said, and some people, everybody has a different internal clock or internal temperature, because some people, like at night when the couples go to sleep, one couple's hot, one person's hot and one person's cold. But
right.
yeah, that was really odd. Um,
Mhm.
okay, so now is it okay if we go over to the women and their social skills and things
Sure,
that we noticed about them that stood out?
right.
I thought, okay, I'm gonna say this. I thought Keena, who was lacking the bra and the uplift that she needed to be empowered, I felt that's just my personal opinion because I'm all about the girl standing up and standing at attention when you can. But but
Huh.
I thought that she was kind of Keena, who was 39, and Wiley comes over and seems like he was kind of interested in her. And of course, Wiley is only, I think, 32. I thought she was very dismissive of him, and I thought that she could have used a lot more tact and delicacy. If you're on a game show, you're on a dating game show, and the men have to vote for you each week, all of them, not just one of them, vote again for you or against you. I thought that was really kind of tacky that she couldn't have used more tact in talking to him and giving him a fair shot. You're here because whatever you were doing in the past wasn't working. So maybe you might want to switch up and try a nice younger guy. I understand I understand where she's coming from, because as a woman of a certain age, I don't like, I'm not really too open myself, to be honest, to younger men that are much younger than me. However, if I went on a whole dating show in front of America and the rest of the world, I think that I would have to say, you know what, I'm going to do something different. I'm doing this. This is different. And I'm just going to be open. I'm just going to be open.
Yeah.
Did you feel
Well,
like her social skills with him and how she handled that situation? Do you feel like they were up to par?
Well, I think she just knew that she don't date younger men, and I think once she found out how much younger he was, she started to shut down right away, because she don't want to date younger men like that, not that much younger. And I also think too with Keena, I'm not sure because they drinking wine, they having a nice time, they mingling or whatever. It's a long day, it's a long shoot day, and so
Yeah,
forth. We get 40 minutes of it, but it's a long day. Okay,
right.
and 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 at the end of it, Clifton alluded to this. Keena said it herself. She said, "Listen, I'm tired. I got a headache. This, So
Right. She
she
wasn't feeling well. I think a lot
wasn't
of
feeling
people are
well.
not cut out to realize that these reality shows, well, like you said, you gave a very good a prime example. As the viewers, we get maybe 42, 41 minutes of an episode that may have taken them 12 hours to 14 hours to film.
Right. That's right.
They're sitting
And
around in the hot sun, and I understand that they don't give them much beverages to drink or water, because they even want their bathroom breaks to be scheduled, which I'm like, oh hell no, that ain't gonna
right,
work.
right, right.
So they don't give them much food. They get little finger food so that they don't get bloated and have to take the bathroom break. So I'm like, you know what, this is the worst kind of job ever.
Yeah, but it's a necessary evil, I guess. But
Hmm.
the thing is that if she wasn't feeling well, and when she sat down, and
Hmm.
again she was trying, she went and she sat down next to Clifton. Clifton was talking to Dakia, and they were having a nice conversation. And Keena came in and said, "Can I sit down?" They were like, "Sure, sit down." And they were talking about their 5-year plan, And Clifton said that Keena looked as though she just looking for a place to sit down. She looked tired. She looked she
Her
looked
feet was
lethargic.
hurting, her head was hurting, everything was hurting.
Right. She was
And
tired.
she didn't have no support for the girls.
Well, that's true too. But she was lethargic. She was tired, and she was really she was ready to go. I think that had she survived another week, because she was voted off, but I think had she been able to survive another week or two, I think she probably would have got it together. Because when they were looking to vote people off, and the camera kind of got on her, I was like, wow, you pretty. I said, she's prettier than I thought she was.
Yeah, she
Um,
was a really actually a very pretty girl. I wish I
yeah,
could have, been her bestie to give her some advice on that wardrobe situation and just to give her some encouragement to just, really no matter what the guy's age is, it's not about maybe you're not gonna end up he's not gonna end up being the love of your life or your husband, but just be open and be friendly and treat it as if you're meeting a new friend. Everybody is not gonna be your man. Everybody is not gonna, even if they're the same age as you, they're not gonna be your man.
right. But I guess
Yeah.
that's that thing where a woman knows what she wants when she sees it, and don't want to waste a whole lot of time on something she don't want.
I
I mean,
I I I don't know. Like I said, this game, this show, since it's kind of a competition, and to be honest, right? It's really a dating competition, is what it boils down to at the end of it. When you really uh, add it up, all the different pieces. It's a dating game. So my point is that as far as social skills, that's to me where the social skills fit in. Again, it's not that you're going to end up with this person, but treat them with grace. Just
right.
simply treat them with grace. The grace that you would want to be treated with if you were trying to talk to him and you're an older woman and maybe you're a cougar, maybe you love younger men. And he's like, oh, hell no, you 7 years older than me. No.
But Aubrey, she was not mean. She was a little dismissive, but she was
She was
not mean
she
to
was
him.
I found her to be, yeah, I no, she wasn't mean, but like I said, to me again, it's levels of social skills. Levels of social skills. She wasn't mean. She was dismissive, and like it could be attributed to a lot of things, but I noticed that she wasn't that way with Clifton, and this is the same day, right?
Right.
She
Same day.
wasn't just so again, so it's how you treat people. How you treat people, because you never know who you're going to need in the clutch. And like I said, to me, if I went on a whole dating show, I would be more open to that. There's just a 7 year gap. I mean, I could see if it was 15 years, but just be nice. Be nice to everybody on the show. You don't know the guy that you're being dismissive to. Maybe his older brother is also single and he's perfect for you. But now
Yeah.
that you've blown him off, you'll never know. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Um, but what do you think about? Cause I think Precious kind of picked up where Sabrina left off. She's this tall, beautiful woman, and she keep that leg out of that slit on that dress. That leg stays out. And
She's gorgeous. She is
yeah,
simply gorgeous, and she's intelligent.
hmm
She's very articulate. I like Precious. I
yeah,
really like her.
I like that leg out. That's what I like. You know,
I like her. I like her that she seemed to give all the men a fair chance. She seemed to be very open to whatever man she was sitting to talk with. She gave him her full attention. And this is what I'm talking about when I say social skills. She's talking to Tori and she's giving him her full attention. And subsequent leg out, you're right. But I just like her. I think she gave everybody a fair chance. She was open. I think part of this season, we'll see that the women that are more open to other men and to everybody and being vulnerable and less masculine energy, I think that they'll do better. Although I will say with Precious, I was a little bit not sure how, what is it, Demetrius, who she had by the arm and she let him to have a seat and talk with her.
right?
I wasn't sure how he would take that, but I think, he probably said, "Okay, well, she's interested. I don't think that's a bad thing." But she said something to him on the way as she was holding his hands and she was leading him. She says, "This is an analogy for maybe our relation for the future." I think is what she didn't say relationship. She said, I think she said something like, "This is an analogy for the future. I will lead," or something like that. Do you remember that? Did I have that
Um,
right?
vaguely remember that part. Yeah.
Yeah, again, I'm big on being feminine and allowing the man to lead, but letting him know that you're interested and you're available. I didn't really too much like that move, but but all in all, I found her to be very enchanting. What did you think of Wiley? Wiley Brown, the former football player that played in college, and I think he won a championship. And he's also Chuck Brown, the King of Go-Go's son, a DC legend. What did you think of Wiley? Alex? Alex, is it me, or did my headphones go out? I can't hear you. Okay, I think Alex may have fallen off the broadcast, guys. So I was just saying about Wiley. I don't know. I think I enjoyed Wiley. I thought that he kind of pegged it when he said that Keena um was a little dismissive, because like I said earlier, I felt like she was too, and he picked up on that, and he said, well, it's okay, because I'm not going to I'm not going to be with her. I see that she doesn't like me like that. So I'll move on. There's six other women here that are looking to meet someone single, and I am single. So that's what I'll do. So I think that that was a very good thing that he said that, and he realized that he didn't miss out on the social cues that she was putting his way to let him know that she just wasn't interested. So there you have it. So it was really an interesting episode. I like Joy. I felt like she was open. She has a great sense of humor. She's very personable. Um, there's rumor, I guess, that she is also the ex-girlfriend of last season's Walter. So that's really interesting. And so I really liked it. I really liked her. I liked Precious. I thought Precious was really good. I thought Precious looked beautiful. What did you guys think? What did you guys think? Oh, there's Alex. Okay. I'm just hanging out here by myself.
I'm
Hey, there
sorry.
you go.
Yeah, I don't know
No
what
problem. No
happened.
problem. That happens. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
These connections. I always tell people they think technology is wonderful, and it is, but it's not perfect. I was just going on without you. So I had gotten that over to where was I at? I was on Precious. I think we covered Precious. No, wait a minute.
Yeah, I left
Ace,
off.
what did you, oh, go ahead. Go, where did you leave
Yeah,
off?
I had left off on Precious
Mhm.
and Tori's connection. That's where I left off. I'm not sure how much of it you
Go
guys
ahead.
heard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't hear much of it. I don't think we heard much of it at all.
Yeah, I was just saying that they had a great connection, Precious and Tori, and how they sat there for a long time conversing. And they had a connections with their childhood, their similar upbringings. They didn't stumble over the words. The conversation was very organic, and that's the way it should be. So I think they had a genuine connection. I enjoyed their conversation.
Right, right, right. That was a good one. Also, who was the lady with Clifton? Clifton came in and seemed to make a connection with someone.
That was the Kia, the yellow dress.
Okay, the Kia. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think about their conversation and what seemed to be a great connection?
Well, the Kia she has these big beautiful teeth with this big beautiful smile, and I think that's what stands out with her. Of course, she's a little she's short. She got a nice figure. The yellow dress made her pop, of course, and but she has a nice beautiful smile with these nice beautiful pearly white teeth, and Clifton was drawn to her immediately. And of course, they're drawn to him because he's a bigger guy. Women like to feel like the guy can protect them and he can just grab them and pick them up and hold them away and that kind of stuff. And so it was interesting to see. And as the season goes on, it'll be interesting to see how the women respond to Clifton.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I like Clifton. I felt like Clifton was warm. He was open. Um, he displayed a lot of empathy. Now he's the one that we said, of course, with the outfit. He just had the
Right.
t-shirt and the slacks on. I didn't think a whole lot of that, but But he was cool though. I really liked him, so I'm
Mhm.
not mad at him. Demetrius, the veteran, I thought he was interesting. I thought a lot of women really like him. I like him, but honest to goodness, my personal preference, I didn't really care for I don't really care for that a guy with a beard like that, a longer beard. I'm really more for if you're gonna have a beard or a goatee, kind of keep it closer to the face. That's my personal preference. But I thought he was handsome. I thought he was more handsome when they showed the pictures with no facial hairs, i.e., military. I kind of go for that kind of jazz, the clean cut look. But anyway, but
Right.
I thought he was really very personable. I love the fact that he has done therapy and is still in therapy because he talks about the fact that he had a problem in his marriage in the past cheating, you know.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
thought that was a very honest thing. I don't know if I would have led with that on the first meeting, but he put it out there and he was comfortable with it, and that's that.
And I think she asked him. I'm not sure who he was talking to, but she asked him,
Okay. She
have you
asked
ever
him
been married or what happened in the marriage or whatever, and he just was being honest. Okay.
well,
And
yeah, I guess so, right. She actually pulled that out of him, or she asked that question. So he was direct. Yeah,
yeah,
that is good. So he was forthcoming, and that's a good trait to note.
yeah, and he was just being honest about the fact that he had fidelity issues, and he's been to therapy for it. Not to mention being in the military. A lot of military men, they need some kind of counseling and things of that nature. So he's apparently addressing those things currently and have addressed them in the past. So hopefully they make him a better man moving forward. But it's good that she know this, ahead of time, and maybe understands what she may or may not be dealing with if he's a potential.
Right, right, right. What do you think? I think okay, so when they went to go to eliminations and we see that Fernando and Kina were eliminated, um did you think they made the right choice in that elimination?
I think so. I think so. I think Keena was even though she tried, she was very standoffish. I didn't see her connect with anybody. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
again, we find out later she had a headache, she was tired, so forth, and that's understandable. But you got to find some place to get that energy from, if you're going to be, on this stage, And she just could not find the energy that the other ladies had to kind of mix and mingle. Fernando to me just seemed like it'd be a very awkward individual. Like he was a he looked out of place. Like he didn't fit in with the rest of the men. And not saying they all got to fit together because they all obviously are different sizes, shapes, colors, or whatever. But he
Right.
seemed like he was just from another planet. You know?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
he just didn't.
yeah.
Yeah,
Awkwardness. That awkwardness, right.
very awkward. He was trying to force conversations, and when you're trying to force conversations, as Joy said, it felt like a job interview because he's trying to force conversation. And if it's not organic, it's going to sound like a job interview. He didn't have the quote unquote, as we like to call it, swag or the charisma. He just didn't have none of that. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Well, you want to this is a great time now. You want to segue into talking about some of what your observations were from the Little Black Book. Shout out to Little Black Book's channel here on YouTube.
yeah.
Little Black Book 91. I'm tripping over my own tongue right now for some reason. But do you want to share and give us some pointers and some observations from that interview with Dante from last season?
I do, but I want to mention Ace for a minute. Ace is the young lady from the new season. She's one of the young ladies,
Oh
and
yeah.
the job descriptions now. Some of the people say, okay, she does that, he does this, he does that, she does this, whatever.
She's a
But
philanthropist, right? They listed
yeah,
her as a philanthropist.
philanthropists, which for me I find that to be very curious because philanthropists are typically very well off. So I'm not sure if that's a deceptive thing they're putting or didn't write it correctly or whatever. but either she's a philanthropist or maybe she works for a philanthropic organization. I'm not sure, but a philanthropist is usually someone who's very, very well off, and they give to different causes and so forth, give money to different causes and so forth. So if she's a philanthropist, I don't know. What were your thoughts on that when you saw that she's a philanthropist?
I thought that possibly what could have been for that title is that that's her job. That's an actual position and a job where she works for a nonprofit and she's in charge of, whatever that job title would be. I'm not really sure. I'm like you. I'm not. I'm a little confused too. But I think that that's actually a job. You know it as somebody who as is a person. But I'm saying that it could also be a position in a company. Is what I think. So I didn't really
Right.
put a lot of. I didn't really put a lot of. I didn't really try to overthink it. I guess.
Okay. And before we move on to Little Black Book to Kojo and Dante, to move ahead to this next episode, who do you think, knowing what you know now from watching episode one, okay, knowing what you know now, what you've seen, okay,
Hmm.
who do you think, as far as the men or woman, that will probably be leaving next?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. They could probably let Paul go. I wouldn't cry not one tear. They could let Paul go. And again, I go back to well, you know what? And I have to say this though, because I had to rewatch the episode and I was a little perturbed with Paul. I thought, okay, you're a big grown guy, um, 48 years old. Might as well say 50. I know I like to push people over the edge, right? And you got this jokester personality where your name is Paul, but you keep calling yourself PO. What's that really all about? I don't really get that.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
I said Paul could go, but then as I watched it a second, third time, um, I don't know. It was something about Paul. I said, you know what? He's got some social skills. I think maybe, and I know I hate when people say this that it was editing, but I think that they maybe did kind of pull out some of the parts of, the worst parts of his edits or what he said. Because, like I said, if these people are here for 12 hours, they're talking for a long time. We're gonna miss. We don't get nearly the conversation that we could have got, right? So
Right.
maybe he really was trying to be silly, and
Mm.
they had already talked and he had already had another opening line because I'm thinking if this guy is opening with my name is PO and they call me PO because I deliver. That's really beyond corny for a 48-year-old, right? But
Right.
I guess Paul's kind of high up on my list that I wouldn't be surprised to see him eliminated.
Hmm.
Um I think that on the flip side of it, I think that Demetrius, the veteran, the chocolate guy, I think that he'll go the distance and I think that Clifton will go the distance.
Yeah.
On the women's side, I don't really know her name, but there was a lady that had I don't know, she had some kind of hairstyle with it was like twisted, some twist or some braids in her head.
I think that was Ace, I
That was
believe,
Ace.
the
I
philanthropist.
I don't think so. Was that Ace? I
No,
don't think so. I
either
don't think
Ace,
that.
either Ace or Tiffany.
Oh, well, anyway, I don't know. I don't know. I think that she could probably possibly be at the bottom for the next
Mhm.
episode. That's
Yeah.
just my thought. What did you think? Who did you think would be at the bottom? Maybe at the bottom next episode.
Well, the women I'm unclear of, but I do know that my two front running women right now, and it's very early, obviously, but they would be Sabrina and Precious are my two front running women right now, and that's just based off the eye test and the fact that they have very good social skills. Okay, so that
Oh
those
yeah, I forgot about Sabrina. Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
So Sabrina had the green dress, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and so those
Yeah,
two
I liked her. I liked Sabrina.
yeah, she's very, very pretty. She's almost like this season's Sydney, but without the curveball, kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I kind of like those two. The men, I would say that um, Paul will probably be the next to go unless he really does something, and to really, really become impressive. I know that Joy said that there's something about him that she would like to try to pull out. That he's kind of guarded. I guess the PO thing, he's trying to guard himself from something or whatever, and create this character, so to speak. But she said it's something interesting enough about him that she would like to pull out to see where it goes. And that's why I think he stayed and Fernando went, because there was nothing interesting about Fernando at all.
And nobody really wanted to pull anything out of Fernando, which I could definitely see why. I could
Right.
definitely see why with him. Okay. Yeah, so like you said, you kind of caught that. Someone else kind of caught that too, that Paul maybe has a little bit going on beyond the surface that's really good, but maybe he hides himself and he's a little insecure, doesn't have the most confidence. So
Mhm.
that could be what we're seeing. I think this is it's got to be a hard thing to do, to be in front of cameras all of a sudden, if that's not something, you're not in showbiz, you're not an actor, you're not a model. It's got to be uncomfortable. I think people kind of discount how uncomfortable and difficult it would be to have these cameras in front of you, as well as to be dating and meeting new people, and you're
And,
gonna be nervous. Yeah.
and how long these shoots are. You
Yeah.
know, these shoots
So
are very long.
right. So having said that, you want to go on now and talk about Dante?
Yes, yes. We can talk about Dante's interview with Kojo last night. Dante said a lot. All the cast members now are speaking out about things that happened. A lot of dates that were not filmed. He said he had a great date with Mumin that wasn't even filmed, and he said it was a great date, but they didn't film. They filmed it, but they didn't show it.
They didn't, yeah,
Uh,
they didn't include it, right.
they didn't include it. So there are a lot of things that happen behind the scenes, obviously, that weren't filmed. These people are texting one another behind the scenes if they're interested and stuff like that. And of course, the Zadia fiascos keep coming up from different points of view and different perspectives. But I think when it came to Dante and his, 3 kids and 3 baby mama situation, I think he did a lot of dancing around with that. I'm sure he takes care of his children. I'm sure he loves them. I'm sure they love him, and so forth. But when it came down to the question, why didn't you marry the mothers, or why didn't you stay with any of the mothers, or what's your background as it relates to how you interact with women and so forth? Um, he said a lot, but he also danced around a lot. You know, so I'm not sure what to make of it in that regard. He seems like a decent guy, a guy that obviously has made. I don't want to say mistakes. I'm not gonna say children are mistakes, but he's made some
He
mistakes
made
with
some
women.
choices, he made some poor choices, 'cause well, he made some, I would say poor choices, because it's not the children, but it's the choices he made that, those were his choices, I'll just say that, his choices.
Right, his choices and kind of thing. So, but it's difficult to kind to kind of assess, because when he said that men are typically, okay, we kind of free to roam, but women have to plan because they're the ones with the children. So they got to plan their day, plan around the children. And he saw his mother do this with his, I don't know if it was a stepfather or his biological father or whatever, but he saw his mother do this
I think it was
because,
his stepfather. I think it
yeah,
was not even a stepfather. I don't know. A man, a boyfriend, his mom's
yeah,
boyfriend. That's what he said.
boyfriend. You know,
Yeah.
she had to plan things around the kids just to spend time with him and so forth. And that's typically what mothers have to do. And my thing is, if that's what you grew up seeing, are you a product of your environment, or can you just say, listen, give me the kids for a week, whatever. Y'all go do what y'all do. I'll take them for a week or whatever. And any woman who comes to his life, which is Aisha right now, um, can they deal with that over the long haul? It's like I said, it's always easy in the beginning. It's been 6 months now, 7 months since they finished filming and everything like that. But that's
Hmm.
still very early in a relationship. It's still very early. So I'm not sure how much time Aisha's actually spent with these children, spent around these children, if she's even met these children yet or
I'm
whatever.
sure in those many months, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know them personally, but I can't imagine they've spent those many months. And as a woman, she seems very sharp to me. I think that she would have asked for, she would have wanted to meet his kids, and I think that he would have had his kids on some weekend or whatever, and they would have met her, and she would have met them, right? That's what I'm thinking. I think if we
Yeah.
get 6, 7, 8 months into it, and I haven't met your children, I know you have them. I'm gonna have a little bit of an issue with that. That
Right,
you're even serious about me, right? But
right. And then
yeah,
again, like we said
mhm,
before, she has two, he has three. That's five children, all together. And how do you
right.
mesh that in a blended family type situation? It's a
Mhm,
lot of moving pieces because his three children have three different mothers. She has an ex-husband. They had two kids together. And according to Aisha, her ex-husband was very abusive physically and mentally and emotionally, whatever. So how do you deal with those dynamics? Because I'm pretty sure she don't really like dealing with this dude, but she probably have to because of the children. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
So it can be a very touchy dynamic, and I think it can get very complicated and murky. So it'd be interesting to see in about another year or so how things are working out.
You know what? You just made me think of something. So I would really love to have them on the show. And you
Yeah,
and I actually get a chance to interview them. I just
right.
thought about that.
Mhm.
Because I do have a lot of questions. I mean, I wish them honestly, anybody that came out of last season or any of the past seasons. Shout out to Simone and Rashid. Hey there, Ages and Stages podcast. I love them. But I mean, I wish the best for any couple that came out of it as a couple. Two people trying to get to know each other and trying to see where this all leads to. So I wish them the best. So maybe they could come on and explain and answer some questions and let us know how they're doing now that they're, like you said, 6, 7 months out from the show. I'd also like to have Phil and Sydney come visit the
Yeah,
show too.
absolutely. Yep, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
I I absolutely adore both of the couples and wish them nothing but the best. So
Yeah.
um, yeah.
And typically,
What
and
else did you?
typically
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. And typically, people, who have, a past or things that they were in error regarding certain past decisions, things like that. Sometimes they have a trigger because it's like, okay, you know, and Dante may have a fidelity trigger or infidelity trigger or whatever. What keeps him bouncing around so much, and does Aisha have what it takes to tame that beast over a long period of time? You
In
know what I
my
mean?
opinion that's a good point, but in my opinion, that's something that the individual person has to tame. He has to tame that, whatever that was or is. He says he's been doing a lot of shadow work. I have no idea what shadow work is as much time as I've spent in therapy myself, and mental health field. I don't understand what shadow work is. Somebody out there, drop it in the comment section if you know, if you're a mental health therapist or work in mental health. Drop that in the comments section. What exactly is shadow work? How does that go? If you could kind of give a summary of it. But he says he's done all this work, so my guess and my hope would be that if he says he's done so much work, then you know, is he serious about being in a mutually exclusive relationship? Is he serious about being monogamous? And if so, for how long? If he's willing to consider marriage, and does he consider marriage a vehicle that he sees for himself? Because one of the observations I thought was that he didn't necessarily see marriage for himself, just like his brother earlier in the season. His brother alluded to, well, our mother did this and she taught us that and she did all this by herself, and he seemed to think that was quite natural and normal. I'm not saying that, as a single mother myself, that has been a single mother in the past, I'm not saying that we can't do these things, but that's not how, ideally, if I had to go back, that's not how I would have preferred it to be for either myself or for my two children. So,
What
I'm
was
just kind of,
well,
I was a little taken back by some parts of his interview with Kojo. To be
yeah,
honest, I
yeah.
was a little taken back.
What his brother said to them, it was normal. See, everybody's definition of normal is different.
I
And
get that, but when you get to be a grown adult person, okay, I get that everybody, like, one thing I learned really early in life is that by me traveling to Houston every summer, coming from Detroit, right, to go to Houston, I get that everybody's home life is what's normal to them is different for other people, right? But what I don't understand is that how you get to be an adult and you don't see that there are other ways of doing things, perhaps better ways of doing things, more efficient ways, more productive ways of raising children in a two-parent household. That's what I'm saying, and I'm basically saying that what I got out of it, reading in between the lines, not that he said this, but my observation reading in between the lines is I got that Dante didn't necessarily place a high value on marriage. So that's a little alarming for me personally.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you probably right for feeling that way. I kind of got that too. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't place a high
And
value on that.
that's fine. That's fine. But I'm just wondering, Aisha, one of the things we noted about her, at least that I noted, was that she did place a high value on it. And she said she loved being a wife and a mother. So now she's already a mother. She's gonna always be a mother for the rest of her life, right?
Right.
But will she be a wife again? And will she be that with Dante? That's why it was alarming to me, because otherwise I don't care. I mean, he ain't gonna marry me, and I'm not gonna ever marry him. So it's not, it was alarming for me from a perspective of, is that something? Is it true what I observed? If my inkling and my intuition and my instincts are true and my observations are true, how does that play out for Dante and Aisha?
Yeah, because I think he spent a lot of time yesterday, and Aisha was clearly in the background because he kept saying, "Get out of my interview, get out of my interview." So she was clearly in the background doing some stuff or mouthing some things to him or whatever the case may be, if they were having fun or whatever. But
Right.
I think Dante in a lot of his answers, he was clearly trying to say the right thing. He was struggling to try to say the right thing, but not be seen as a bad guy. And I think he was dancing around a lot of the pertinent stuff that
That's an interesting perspective, because I was reading in the chat while I was watching that a lot of people that were watching it, they thought the exact opposite, and particularly the women, they were so smitten with his good looks, and oh, he's so enlightened and this and that and the other thing, and I was like, okay,
yeah. Well, you
all
know me,
right.
you know how I roll. You
How's
know,
that? How do you roll?
I'm gonna call it like I see it. And, and look, all the people were nice looking. That's not the point. That has
Right.
nothing to do with character flaws, integrity, none of that kind of stuff.
No.
Honesty, loyalty. That's totally different thing. You know,
Right.
so
Right.
I just
You
think that
you wait a minute. Does that include? Wait a minute, Alex. I gotta catch you on something. Does that include your girl Zadia? Does that include the gorgeous and lovely Zadia?
you always come back to me with this audience stuff.
Oh,
Listen,
you was the one that said that was your number one girl. So I gotta ask you, does that include her? Because I know she got body yada yada for days, and you loved everything about her look and everything. She works out. Oh my gosh, I didn't hear enough about that this season, last season. So
listen.
does that include Zadia? Does she have to have a certain character, or be loyal or faithful or whatever?
To be a wife, yes. To be on the hit parade, no.
I'm not even gonna ask you. I'm not even gonna ask what the hit parade is, because I have a feeling I might know, and I don't want you to say, because this is strictly PG-13, sir.
Shit,
Strictly PG-13, okay? Your girl Zadia. But you're saying though, so for fun times, if I put it in another paraphrase it in my own words, for fun times she's good, but for a wife, that wouldn't be your consideration at this point.
right? No, I couldn't deal with that on an everyday, regular basis. I'm not going to play counselor. I'm not going to have you challenging my manhood. I'm not going through none of that. I'm not dealing with
Okay.
that. You know,
Okay.
because even Dante said, when she came up on him, she intimidates other women. He said because he said, look, Zadia is well put together. She works out. He said that last night. Okay,
Everybody
so
everybody can see that. Yeah. Even
so
Stevie
so
even Stevie Wonder can see that.
right. So the other women they get intimidated, or whatever kind of thing. So, but everybody.
I don't think anybody, any of the women on the last season, I don't think anybody was intimidated by her. I
I'm
mean,
talking
a
about
lot
the
of the
behind the
women.
scenes, behind the scenes parties and stuff where she come and she starts stuff and.
Oh,
so forth.
intimidated by her bullying, not by her physicality. Is that
Right,
what
by
you're
the
saying?
bullying, right? The
Okay,
bullying.
because it sounded like you were saying because of her beauty. No, okay, yeah,
No,
her personality was intimidating, but her looks were just her looks. And I think any secure woman um can look beyond that and say, okay, she got the same thing I got. We working with the same thing, but I'm still the prize, and I'm still going to show these guys why I'm the prize.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
So
yeah. She had a very bullying attitude. I think we can all agree on that. Even though she doesn't apparently see it. And that's another thing that's alarming, but we beat that horse already.
yeah, because everybody that tells the story got some kind of behind the scenes story at a party or something, and stories about her that keep popping up. I'm like, what is this? She's a monster or something. I don't know. I hate to say she's a monster, but there's just some things that she hasn't reconciled in her own life that she probably really, really needs to deal with. Because it's not okay to do that. What she was doing. You
Yeah,
know.
well, there's a difference between the name and the behavior. So we'll just say that she had monstrous behavior, maybe.
Right. Right. Right.
Can we agree on that? Because she did. I think she
Yes.
did. But in wrapping up, do you want to share with the viewers what you're doing currently and where they can find you on social media?
Yeah. Well, currently, Aubrey, I'm gonna tell you something.
Hmm.
I'm doing a lot of searching right now for a property, a residential property that I can rent out. I've been spending a lot of time doing that. I want to get kind of much more heavier into real estate this year. I'm already heavy into the stock market, the crypto market. I'm working on my first comic book, which is exciting. I got another movie project I'm working on, which is
Oh
very
wow, I
exciting.
can't wait for both of
Um,
those projects, the comic book and the movie project.
Right. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but they can find me on Instagram, AW Leaf 67 on Instagram. Facebook, I'm Alex W. Leaf. So very easy to find. Google my name, stuff will pop up. That's very easy as well. So, but I just enjoy doing this. I enjoy being here with you, and thank you for always having me on. I appreciate it.
Wow. Well, same here. I love our witty banter back and forth, and sometimes you enlighten me and you stretch me and you challenge me, and I don't like it all the time when you do that, but at the end when I'll think about it, and the next day I'll probably say, hey, I'll text you or contact you and say, hey, Alex, you know what? I really learned something yesterday.
Yes, and that goes both ways. It goes both ways.
Well, guys, please drop down in the comments section. Tell us what you thought about um this season in the Potomac of Ready to Love. Who were your favorite cast members? Favorite guy, favorite gal? Did you see any what looked like genuine connections? And who do you think may make it to the end? Give us some of those thoughts, right? Right, Alex?
Yes, I really hope Sabrina doesn't turn out to be another Zadia. I'm real high on her right now, and I hope that she can go the distance.
Hey, I got a quick question for you. Do you have a comment or anything, any questions that you want to ask our viewers to drop down in the comment section and share their thoughts with us? Do you have a specific question or thing that you want to ask the viewers to answer between now and next week?
Yeah, and I can ask the female viewers this, and you as well, Aubrey. Um, what is it about Clifton exactly? I know he's a big guy. He got the beautiful voice. What is it about this guy that the women just initially find so attractive? What would that be? I would love to hear some of the women in the comments. What would they say to that, and what would you say to that?
Okay, all right. I'll drop down in the comments and I'll kick it, and we'll find out what what some of the viewers are thinking too. What about one of the ladies that you found super attractive? You want to ask the gentleman the same thing?
Yeah, I want to ask them which lady did they find that they would like to see um, stand the test of time throughout the season, and why? And again, I like Sabrina and Precious right now. They're the front runners. And here's the thing: I know other women are going to come. Tommy's up to something, so I know other women are going to be introduced into the fray probably the next couple of episodes or so. But right now, I kind of like Sabrina and Precious, and I want to know from the gentleman who would their front runners be right now after episode 1?
Okay, that's a great question. So we'll wrap it up with that, guys. You heard that question, and just drop down in the comment section and share your thoughts and opinions with us, because we'll be back next week, same time, same place.
And
Actually,
hopefully,
Aubrey on YouTube.
and hopefully during the week with another, another video about something totally different.
Right,
That's
right,
not,
right.
yeah.
We've got some plans in the works for we're gonna surprise you with a little midweek a possible midweek TV show that all of you guys probably will be watching. Well, I'll just tell you. You want me to? Is it okay if I tell them?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Okay, we're gonna be doing. Looks like we're gonna be doing Celebrity Big Brother.
Where's the clapping? Put your clapping machine on, baby.
I did not have it handy. Woo! And this is for you. This is for you, Alex. Okay, guys. Seriously though, I found out that Lamar Odom is going to be on Celebrity Big Brother House, so I can't wait to see that. So you guys drop down in the comment section and tell me if you guys are going to be watching. That's Wednesday on CBS at 8 p.m. Let us know, and we're out of here. You guys take care. Have a lovely day. Stay safe, guys.
Love you.